Welcome back to Reflect. We are twins who do podcast style movie reviews. Today we're discussing the 2020 movie Fresh. We do a little summary of the movie. Mainly we'll be discussing certain scenes in the film, so we recommend you all to watch it. We'll discuss many red flags when it comes to relationships that we notice while watching, and also a few tropes. Now, a little summary of the movie. It follows a woman named Noah who goes on a couple of dates that eventually leads to her fighting for her life. She has a best friend named Molly, who is her support in the movie. The first date Molly goes on, she meets the typical...
You mean Noah?
Sorry. Yeah, the first date Noah goes on, she meets the typical douche named Chad. No offense to all the guys named Chad who listening.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Who said some rude things about women and about relationships. The second date Noah goes on is the premise of the film. She meets a guy named Steve at the supermarket. He comes across charming and not like the other guys, quote unquote, or the nice guy. In the film, we see Noah goes on a couple of dates with Steve. They get along, having a good time, and that's when he invites her on a weekend trip alone. She goes on a trip, and that's when Steve drugs, captures, and uses her as a meat bag to wealthy businessmen. Noah is not the only woman kidnapped, and later in the film, Molly is also kidnapped due to searching for Noah. We learn Steve is married and he's a cannibal, so basically he eats human meat.
Mm-hmm.
He has been luring women in through dates to cut them up, eat, and sell their body parts. So disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the movie, Noah, Molly, and the other women trapped escape to Noah pretending to like him and making Steve comfortable, so he let his guard down.
The women were also able to kill him and his wife, who was very much involved in the business. And I just want to say that's just a little synopsis of the movie.
Now we're going to talk about some of the red flags we saw in the movie. We're also going to discuss our opinion about the nice guy trope that was prevalent in the movie and particular scenes. Now, the first red flag in the movie is how soon Noah went out of town with Steve in the movie. I don't think you should ever go on a trip with a new girl or guy when you only met in person twice. I don't care how much you like that person. I get why the girl in the movie went because he was charming and different than the other dates she went on.
And if you watch the movie, you can see the scenes that we're talking about with that.
It comes across as romantic and exciting. However, at least do a background check.
Nah, that's too much. No, I guess that's too in-depth. You go do a whole investigation of the person. But hey,
yeah,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Just more dates before going anywhere with someone. At least go on a couple of more dates.
Right.
Plus, if the guy being vague on the place y'all going to, you better at least call a friend or have a tracker in your phone. The second red flag in the movie is the lack of identity of the person. In the movie, we see Noah's friend Molly trying to Google search him. So if the guy you're seeing doesn't have anything about himself, that's a huge red flag to me. Mm-hmm. I can see if maybe they don't have social media, because we barely have it.
Don't, yeah, true.
But at least get to know his friends and family so you know he's not a serial killer. After some of the signs in the movie, you could tell that something was off about him. Throughout the film, you could see something was not right.
Yeah, in the movie, Steve, he refused to have his picture taken. There was nothing to Google about him.
In my mind, I would think he had a whole another family or wife, which I think Molly, the friend, kind of sad to know when she brought him up to her. At least run a license plate or get his address before going anywhere.
Right.
The third red flag in the movie is love bombing. That's when that's going on throughout the movie. The idea of love bombing is when one person goes overboard with attention or affection just so they can control you.
Or manipulation as well. And yeah. I'm pretty sure some of you may have heard this term before too.
I feel like this happened to Noah when she went on a date with Steve. He basically told her his whole life story about hers. I felt
normal, but different when you watch the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. You will see how much he tried to get to know her and how fast it was.
Yes. I like the thing Steve was telling her was a way for her to let her guard down and for her to ignore any red flags.
I thought this technique was shown in the movie so Noah can open up about the lack of friends and family she had, because Steve only went for women who had a lack of a family. I also think in a way for Steve to get her alone so he can be seen as 100% trustworthy. If I tell you all the hardships I had, maybe you can feel sorry for me or relate to me. Every problems I got in my family or lack of family, right. Maybe you could feel oh, I feel sorry for you.
So she could be his savior,
yeah.
or overly nurturing or whatever.
I feel when someone dates someone, you should gradually get to know someone.
Yeah, not all at once like he did. And then there were just a few red flags we saw in the movie. In the movie now, I just wanted to talk about the tropes that was evident in the film, like the Chad versus the nice guy. Kind of like as we said before, like the guy, his name that she went on a date with was named Chad. It wasn't the dates. So no, she went on like 2 dates with the first guy who actually name was Chad. He came off like a a-hole, I guess you could say, frat boy or a jock. I felt in the movie the Chad was a way to show how easily people could fall for the nice guy. And Steve came across as funny, nice, smart, and witty. Think about if you were in Noah's shoes and you went on several dates with guys who talk down about women or trash them. And then you meet one guy that's not like that, and it'll be way easier for you to let your guard down because of how nice he is. Mm-hmm. Even if he basically was doing the minimum and you was like basically overlooking red flags. Also, even if the guy is nice at the beginning does not mean you have to give the guy a chance later when he turns into a psycho. Even if you have been on dating the person for years. Because I feel like some people just stay stuck in a relationship even if, we got history, been in for years and stuff, but they turn their whole personality around. I see people in general like the movie pretend to be one way up front or say all the things you want to hear. Mm-hmm. So it takes them more than like a few days, months, or weeks to fully know the character of the person. I think that's just in my opinion.
Yeah.
That was just one of the nice guy tropes in the movie that we kind of saw. I would say like Noah did do some smart things in the film that can, I guess, help others just in case you end up like Noah. Mm-hmm. I think it was really smart that she played along with him, so it took him time to take her like organs or cut her up in general. As stated before, Noah was able to survive by making Steve feel comfortable around her, and basically did what he said. She basically did what he did by being like charming, so he let his guard down.
So she kind of flipped the script.
Yeah, flipped the script a little. I think this happened in many true crime cases. We watch a lot of true crime.
And a lot of podcasts, videos.
In which a victim will pretend to be interested in the guy or make the criminal think you accept his gruesome behavior as a way to get free. I thought it was a great tactic to use in a situation to survive. Another smart thing in the movie was Noah telling Molly, who was her friend, about Steve. Molly was able to Google him based on the information she gave. Even if she did end up being captured too, at least she did try to help. I like that she actually investigated and was a good friend. It was also smart of Molly to have a backup person to share her location when she did get captured as well. I think in any situation, telling family or friend can save your life in the long run. I also believe relying on your intuition can be a major help for you to live or die. So this movie was like kind of shed a light on the dangers of modern dating. So dating apps in general. For instance, this for sure could happen to anyone, especially because we have so many dating apps nowadays. A lot of people just want to like hook up with anyone without fully knowing them. I have seen like a few stories in the news where people were like killed or sexually assaulted before meeting someone on a dating app. I'm not trying to say this all dating apps are unsafe or everybody on the dating app is unsafe. I'm just saying like in reference to the movie.
Yeah.
But because some people do end up like getting married to the person or dating them in the long term. I think it's easier to like date someone nowadays, but I think it's kind of harder to find like a decent or what you consider to be normal person. Everyone, just be careful out there. I think in general, like women need to have higher self-esteem or feel better about themselves. I don't know.
Confidence.
Yeah, more confidence. I don't know. And when they looking for a guy, make sure it's not like toxic, I guess. And guys need to be taught how to like treat women with respect, and be just nice in general and not just pretend to be nice.
Yeah.
Lastly, I think therapy go a long way for people so they don't turn out to be someone like a Steve.
Yeah.
Who was like manipulative and a psychopath.
Yeah, I wish we would have known his like upbringing. Upbringing and why he turned out the way he did. Like, you just don't wake up, I want to eat human meat and kidnap women.
And sell body. You don't just sell pieces of the person. And his wife too.
Yeah.
Who also went along, and she was a victim too, even though she was a victim, but she turned into be like kind of like that Stockholm, because she ended up helping him with that stuff too.
Yeah.
So, but just in conclusion, I feel like overall the movie I think was educational when it came to dating. I recommend that others watch the film. It was very good. It was really interesting and entertaining. And some of you may have already seen it too. I think it's on Netflix, right?
Yes.
Yeah. We mainly just wanted to give our thoughts on the film and how it can relate to like real life. And I just want to say thank you all so much for listening. Please subscribe, and thank you so much for those who did subscribe. And make sure you like our video. Go look at our past video. Bye.